understanding that change making is a marathon and not a sprint is a key strategy that will help you understand what true impactful change can look like. Welcome, tribe. My name is Miriam Nabunya. I am the founder of Edges and Drinks. I'm also a culture entrepreneur and a service expert. So this segment, we zoom in on the topic of the month. And this month is AfroNordic Women's Month. And we've gone through a series of lives where we want to amplify the change makers in our society and also the change makers, AfroNordic women that are changing the narrative, AfroNordic women that are aiding to push the needle forward to amplify the existence of AfroNordic women and also the beauty, the richness of our society. So to tell you a little bit about Edges and Drinks, Edges and Drinks is a project that I started to unapologetically connect, equip, and celebrate Black and Brown women in the Nordics, because based on my upbringing, I was raised in Sweden. I was born in Uganda, raised in Sweden, and have been living in Norway for the past 15 years. And my story led me to wanting to connect more with my peers, my ethnic peers, and also like-minded people and people who look like me that might have experienced the same experiences in living in the Nordics as a Black woman. So that's the whole reason why I started Edges and Drinks. The topic today is strategies on how you as a Black and Brown woman in the Nordics can become a change maker, how you can step into becoming an impactful individual in your society and create the changes that you desire and that you feel that we're lacking in our society. So that's what I'm going to talk about. So as a Black woman in the Nordics, we have a power. We have a power to create meaningful change, to create a betterment for our communities and beyond. So I want to share 7 different strategies that have come up in the different interviews I've had with change makers, things that I've experienced myself that has helped me to reach where Edges and Drinks has come now, but also in my other accolades in my career. So let's get started. So if you want to become a change maker, you as a Black woman in the Nordics, you wish to become a change maker, but you don't know how to start. You get a bit overwhelmed by all of even role models, because sometimes you can aspire to be a role model for somebody, or you would like to be an impactful individual, but you don't know where to start. Personally, anything I have started or raised my voice on has been things that have been agitating me, things that I've seen that I've been missing in my community or in our society. So through these different points, 7 points to be exactly, I'll be sharing some personal experiences, but also going back to different tips that I've gotten in meeting change makers, being around change makers, and observing change makers. So part number 1, it's connected to what I said, what has motivated me to take the step forward to raising my voice and speaking on injustices in my field or injustices in spaces I've been, and that is find your passion. Find your passion. Start by identifying the issues that matter the most to you, because by doing so, this will help you in challenging times, because being a change maker, it's extremely challenging at times, and also you make yourself a target per se. So trying to change the narrative, that means you're changing a way that many people are used to. We live in a system that wasn't created for us. It wasn't created for the black body, and most importantly, it wasn't created for the black woman. So by finding out what is your passion, what do you care about that you will even do it for free? What do you want to address? Because like I said, finding your passion will fuel you, because even if nobody's clapping for you, even if nobody is cheering you on, you'll be able to continue to move forward in the work that you want to do, and also to create the change that you want. So find your passion. That is strategy number one in how you can become a change maker in your community or society. Number two, educate yourself. And this point is so important because many of us are very fast in jumping into something we want to change. It can be wanting to start a company because you're not getting employment, or wanting to step into a role of leadership, but you don't even know the broad implications that role will demand. So educate yourself. You know the saying, knowledge is power. It truly is. So take time off to educate yourself, know about the root of the injustices that you want to change, know about the reason of why things are like they are. And I mean, the whole history of change makers, where activists or normal people like you and me, have become role models or impactful members of their society, is because they have deep dived into what is the issue, why is it that way, what changes do we need, who wants to be part of that change. So educate yourself. And this is also something that I'm doing in this season of my life. I started Edges and Drinks as a social initiative, as a social idea of gathering other Black and brown women that might have experienced assimilation, cultural assimilation, internalized racism, the category of otherness, where they just felt like they weren't enough. So I started it from a very modest and somewhat innocent standing point. As we've been moving and as we've been creating different activities and broadening the safe space aspect of why Edges and Drinks exists, I've come to a point where I see that I need more deeper education in the work that I'm doing. What are the needs of Black and brown women? How can they fully step into a life of overflow? That is the theme for this year, 2024. We in Edges and Drinks have themed 2024 as the year of overflow. But what do they need in order to step into that? So I'm educating myself. I'm reading about how many are we in the Nordics? What are our biggest challenges? Why are these challenges this way? Yes, we know it's based on discrimination. We know that it's based on discrimination because of skin color, colorism, sexism, and so many other points. So I'm educating myself, and this is point number two in strategies in how you can become a change maker in your society. Educate yourself and also understand the context of your agitation. I started out with saying, to be able to change something, for me personally, has been things that agitate me. And I think that's very common for all of us. There's something that we want to change. So learn more about that, because this will also help you to develop effectivity and also a strategy to make that change. Number three of strategies to be able to become a change maker in your society is build relationships. In past lives, I've spoken about the power of community, and this is part of them, building relationships, because collaboration is key. Because what agitates you, what you want to change, you're probably not the first person that feels the same way. You're probably not the first person that has observed this specific issue. So build relationships, and also try to be in places where you will find like-minded people, like-minded organizations that are already doing a good job, but together you can become even more impactful, because we all bring something to the table. We truly do. If you want to make a change and you feel like, I don't know where to start, who do I speak to, where do I go, this point is just about that part. This point that is building relationships is so powerful. If you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, if you want to create impactful change, if you want to create the society that you want to live in, you will need relationships. You will need people that together you can amplify the impact that you want to create. And also being a change maker, and this is a very unanimous experience that many change makers have, is that it can sometimes feel so lonely. It can feel so lonely. But if you have people next to you, people behind you, people in front of you that are like-minded, that have the same vision as you, that get agitated over the same things as you, put your heads together, put your resources together, and you can go much farther. Number 4 of strategies that can help you become a change maker in your community or in your society is use your voice. Use your voice. If you're watching me right now, you're more likely to be a millennial Black woman or a Gen X Black woman, meaning that Gen X, they were the ones that were raised by, I'm generalizing a little bit, but they were the ones that were raised by the generation that is called the boomers. Boomers that came born on the continent, African continent, came to the Nordics. Many of them just wanted to come into society, get a job, work, make their money, sending money home, and live a peaceful life. Not to create too many waves and just exist in peace. So that generation were the one that gave birth to Gen X. Gen X, the ones that were a little bit radical. They called this the MTV generation. And Gen X are the one that are parenting, amongst others, millennials. That is my generation. We are the digital natives. We are the generation that have experienced the .com revolution, when the internet came, when we understood that there was more to the world. We could reach the world, we could look into the world from where we live, from where we were, from our day-to-day life. So we saw so many more possibilities. We became very also radical, but also unapologetic. So if you're watching this, then you know about those similarities that I am sharing. So with that, I mean that you use your voice. You might use your voice in writing, you might use your voice in your small community, but if you want to be a change maker, you have to dare to use your voice in spaces where the agitation is. If it's social injustices, okay, where is it rooted? Where is it promoted? Where are these injustices promoted? Use your voice. Using your voice is one of the most powerful tools of advocacy. And if you are a change maker, you're advocating for something, you stand for something. So use your voice, speak out against what you want to change, speak out against what you want to see change in your society. This can be, you can do it on social media, you can do it through public speaking, you can do it through grassroots organization or organizing. But there's always a way of showing your advocacy. So use your platform. And when I said the point number 3, that was about building relationships, by using your voice, people will reach out to you. Organizations will reach out to you because they will pinpoint, hey, you're saying the same thing. We're speaking the same language. That means we have observed the same thing. So never be afraid of using your voice. That is the most powerful tool that you have. And if you look back in the history of oppression, history of isolation, what did they do? They silenced people. They separated people because they didn't want them to structure themselves, organize themselves, and also speak up against the injustices that were done towards them. So use your voice. That's strategy number 4 in how you, as a Black woman in the Nordics, can become a change maker in your society. Number 5, take action. Whatever is not put in action is up for auction. So don't wait for the change to happen. That's what this point means, or this strategy means. Don't wait for somebody else to do it. There's probably other people that feel the same way. They'll probably do it. Don't wait for it. Take the small step. You become the change that you want to see. Take action in your community, whether it's volunteering, whether it's organizing events, whether it's speaking up in your small community. Advocate for the change that you want to see. You never know who's listening. You never know who feels the same way as you. But if you don't start, even if you don't have all of the components that you need to achieve the impact that you want, just by starting, you'll be surprised how many people that will start to, in the generation of social media, following you because they resonate with your message. So take action. Every small step counts. Every small step counts. And number 6, if this is not for you, it's a good reminder for me. Practice self-care. Practice soul care. In the beginning, I said that I've been recording a series of AfroNordic change makers, women that have helped us, have helped amplify the existence of Black and brown women in the Nordics, women that have put themselves as targets to create the change that will better the lives of all Black women or all AfroNordic women in the Nordics. This is so important. Practice self-care, because when you are so passionate about something, I think, and me included, we forget about stopping up and taking care of ourselves. Because body, minds, and soul, we are the vessel. We are the vessel of the vision. We are the vessel of the change that we want to create. And if you don't take care of yourself and start pouring from an empty cup, start pouring from a half full cup, somewhere, sometime, it will stop. You'll be overwhelmed. You can be burned out, and it will trigger mental illness, mental health imbalances, depression, anxiety. So being an activist, being an active change maker, it can truly be emotional and mentally draining. Fun fact, many change makers are introverts. I'm so surprised because I've spoken to so many women that are role models, women that I look up to, women that I've learned so much from, and a lot of them are introverts. So imagine being an introvert, but pulling yourself out of your safe space, your place of refuge, because there is something that agitates you so much in society that you want to change it. Without taking breaks, without taking care of yourself. Of course, it's gonna be draining. Of course, you will wear yourself out. So this strategy should even be the first one I mentioned. Practice self-care. Take breaks. Share your work. Share your thoughts. Be around like-minded people. These can help you, remind you of the importance of taking care of yourself. Because working or being active to create impactful change is a marathon and not a sprint. A very common trait with new activists is that there is an urgency, a sense of urgency. There is some hunger that is just on the surface of everything they do. That's why it's so good to have role models. That's why it's so good to have a community, because that way you can take care of each other and also see each other and say, you know what, let's take a break. Let me do this. This doesn't have to be done now. And this support can be loved ones that maybe are not looking for becoming change makers, but they care about you. So practice self-care. That is a massive strategy to becoming a change maker. A change maker in the sense of longevity. A change maker that is looking for creating change for future generations. Change makers, sprint change makers, hardly ever see the change that they're working towards, because they get worn out, they get burned out, they get frustrated with society. Nobody understands my hard work. Nobody understands what I'm doing. No wonder, sis, because you don't take break, you don't take care of yourself. Agitation will build up. So strategy number 6 in becoming a change maker in your society that you want to live in and create the change that you see that we are lacking in our society. This is understanding persistence and perseverance. I touched on this a little bit on the self-care one, and this is change making is a marathon. Understanding that things take time, change takes time. Many systems have taken generations to get rooted, generations for changing minds that pass them on to coming generations, that pass them on to new leaders. So understanding that change making is a marathon and not a sprint is a key strategy that will help you understand what true impactful change can look like. And also understanding persistence and perseverance is that then you understand also that you're going to experience setbacks on your way. One day you can experience a win, the next day you feel like you've taken 5 steps back. This is very normal when you're trying to make a change. It can be that you're trying to make to make changes in your office. You're trying to change structures in your community. You're trying to change mindsets. One day it can feel like, oh, they get it. And then the next month, it feels like they never heard a word that you said. So understanding that setbacks are going to come, challenges are going to come along the way, but that as long as you keep on going, as long as you keep on taking breaks, as long as you keep on understanding that change takes time, you will make small changes that down the road will accumulate to massive change. But massive change doesn't happen over time, or doesn't happen overnight. It happens over time. So by implementing these strategies, I hope you feel much more motivated to take the step forward to allow yourself to make the changes that are needed in your society. Allow yourself to build up the courage to raising your voice against the agitations that you see in your society, and take baby steps towards the change that you want to see. We are talking about strategies that you as a Black woman in the Nordics can use as massive tools to become a change maker, to become a long-lasting change maker, to become a role model that has the overflow to actually enjoy the change that you've created. Because many of us that are trying to change a system that wasn't created for us, that are trying to change the narrative about how Black women are perceived in the Nordics, that are trying to break biases in a society that sometimes feel like they are working against us, we need a strategy. And there is different ways of doing this. but I shortened it down to 7 strategies that I know have helped me, that I know many change makers. I've spoken to many Black women, many Afro-Nordic women that are impactful individuals, have practiced. I've put them together on a list that I'm sharing today. So I'm going to repeat them all. So number 1 in strategies that are important tools if you want to become a change maker in your society is find your passion, find your why. Because if you don't have a why, trust me, you're going to be very pumped the first month, you're going to be still being pumped the second month, you meet challenges the third month, the fourth month, you've moved on. So what's your why? What's your why? Find your passion. Find the passion, identify what issues that matter the most to you, because this will become fuel along the way. This will become fuel when you meet challenges, because challenges are going to come. Sis, challenges are going to come. So find your passion, strategy number 1. Strategy number 2, educate yourself. You can have the passion to start, but you need knowledge to go far. You need knowledge to make proper change. You need knowledge to change mindset. You need knowledge to rip up roots that have taken generations to change. Educate yourself about the systematic injustices that you've observed. Educate yourself about why things are like that. Why are they impacting society, workplace, family, communities that way? Because when you figure out the root of it, the effects of it, what changes are needed, you will also find the solution for it. Educate yourself. Number 3, build relationships. We need each other. We need each other. I know many of us are like, oh, it will be better if I do it alone. It will go faster if I do it alone. I know exactly how it's meant to be. When I got the vision, it wasn't a conference call. I was the only one that got it. Let me do it myself. That's not how it worked. I've been there. Many change makers have been there. Build relationships. Find like-minded people. Find people that feel the same way about the issue that you want to change. Number 4, use your voice. Dare to use your voice. It takes courage to speak against something that is deep-rooted in communities, in relationships, in the society. But use your voice. You can use your voice through social media. You can use your voice through organizing events. You can use your voice through advocating for policies that you want to change. It can be as simple as the national budget has been released, or they cut the budget, they lowered the budget for health. Speak up about it. Speak up about it. You don't have to have a PhD in that particular area, but speak up in the way that it affects you, in the way that it triggers some kind of imbalance in you. Use your voice. And this segues us into strategy number 5, and that is take action. Everything that's not put in action is up for auction. What I mean with that is then anybody can grab it. Anybody with the best strategy, anybody with the best resources, anybody with the biggest following can jump on that. But it doesn't mean that they will do it the way you do. So don't wait to make change. Don't pass it on to the next person. If it agitates you, if you're passionate about it, then you might be the person this generation needs for that change to start. It can be volunteering with organizations that work with the issues that mean something to you. It can be organizing events. It can be advocating for it. And with all of this, remember to practice self-care. This is strategy number 6, self-care. It's so important. Activism is draining. Activism is a 24-hour job. If you truly care about something, if you're truly passionate about something, trust me, you will eat, sleep, breathe and do number 2 with it in your mind. I know that was very graphic, but you understand what I mean. Practice self-care. Take pauses. Take breaks. Find support in friends, in loved ones that might not care about what you are passionate about, but they care about you. When you work long days, they're the ones that will look to it that they'll make food for you. When you're working late nights outside in a function, in organizing something, they might be the one that come and walk you home, come and pick you up. Practice self-care, and self-care looks different for all of us. And I know it's a very trendy terminology. Self-care Sunday. But what does it mean for you? Sometimes it can just be that you need time for yourself. You just need to start the day for yourself before you start giving out of yourself. Practice self-care. This is a reminder for me, and I hope a good reminder for you too. And the number 7 and last strategy that I want to share in this live about how you, as a Black woman in the Nordics, can become a change maker in your society is persistent and perseverance. Understanding the concept of persistence and perseverance. And that means that change making is a marathon. It is not a sprint. It's very easy for us to fall into that, especially as the digital natives, the millennials. We want change fast. We see change happening. We want to get the same kind of journey, make it fast, make fast changes, but it doesn't work that way. So understanding that to be able to create impactful, meaningful change, it takes time. It doesn't happen overnight, but it happens over time. That's what I had for you today. Every Sunday, we post on our YouTube channel, Edges and Drinks TV, the lives, the post-produced lives from the Wednesday prior. So go over to YouTube, subscribe, watch some of our videos, like, leave a comment, because whatever change that we were working towards, we can't do it without you. So thank you so much for dropping in. Take care, and you remember to drink your water, mind your business, and guard your peace. Guard your peace because you're worth it. Thank you.